專嘅，
唔係呢個係掛喺度，呢個係擺喺佢手度。
用邊個第一個簽名？講咧，Virginia 喎，啊 Virginia，首先有幾多個 Virginia？放嗰個金鉸剪嗰個。鉸剪我幫你擺埋落去。我啲鉸剪俾你用啊。好嘅。
嗰個就係膠紙邊放過去頂進頂就係。有係咁多錢。
做啲係咪？
咗先。扣住你唔好有人睇相係嘛？
靚啲啊！而家唔靚唔收貨嘅。
哦，really？想 speak 咩嗎？
No，
冇啊。拉後啲，拉後啲，拉後啲，頂住個頂，仲未？頂住未？頂高啲。我高啦。哦，裏邊係二箱
你呢啲請唔請入去？你個agent喺嗰度。咁樣放低啦。感謝。攞咗啦，攞咗啦。今日坐喺咪係啦，係到食蝦嘅時候咧，我都已經為咗你呢個，喂，我都唔係拖飛㗎啦已經。咁其實係啊嘛，再低，點啊，夫人，係咪咁啊？是唔是？你影相你呢個影你，你有個影得到嘛？哦，我而家係啊，But where's the office though? You're like it's pretty. Oh, so you walk to it? 我哋可以攞嘢食㗎。
好方便，就全部你特嗰日對住個面頭，佢對住部電腦嚟搞佢。咩 TeamViewer 啊，摩西冇嘅嗰啲。唔係講笑。買嚟做咩？搞咩啊？你哋上 Facebook 依家啦？唔使啦，呢啲啊，咩落翻？自作自受。即係呢啲係你嘅責任。因為國情你講證件仔。咁樣我哋呢度 share。唔可以俾個新機米亞麻會唔會需要你幫手？要攞隻米亞麻，會嘅，佢哋自己有領調嘅，佢哋自己會做。咁平時你哋有咩做咧？好似冇咩做咯。即係你哋都夾埋，咁啊真係多喎，嗰啲就真係。
佢比較係想聽力即係學嘅世界工作。係啊，
就你哋。
大十號。
Very happy to have you.
你自己好係。
因為佢就算有 full 咗佢係可能5、6年、7年先。
咁佢係留喺香港，而家我哋知道，好似香港政府會俾錢佢哋，所以會做黑工咯，係嘛？
如果佢係有身份嘅，肯定唔做，因為如果做咗就冇錢收。就係如果
偷懶嘅呢個影相佬。
多謝俾面，多謝俾面。阿主席啊，快啲影下主席先。阿主席呢期咁好，咁出眾。
哇，靚仔啊！
阿主席影慣咗。呢邊。How long have you been? Do you get a stay here in Hong Kong? How long have you been here? When you're ready. So how do you like it? You like it a lot? So how long have you been in Hong
Connected 啦，都幾會 use 咪鬼咪。係啊，其實都好多時做嘅，做咩啫？影我得啦，有冇影過啦？真係啊，人哋誤會㗎。
誤會乜嘢？
影你冇正常啊，咁啊，我係主角啊嘛，得照就好啦。
佢驚人誤會我哋兩個嘅關係啊！
你哋嘅關係人所共知，我哋兩個，你哋關係人所共知㗎喎。
我哋有啲地下嗰啲嘢你唔知㗎。
地下啊！
我哋隔離啊！
喺度，不過佢係呢個佢開心。但係呢個之前咩解你做嘅遊戲呢？啱先我哋吹兩，你吹幾耐啊？3年咁你變堅㗎啦，咁你都食啱咁就成咁啊！
This is and they surprise why 我就係講緊就係啦，個問題佢係咪都咁嗰啲人咁即係曾經
So it's now open for us to
一個人講一個，天氣情況。
咁要唔要話邊個阿領會？
咁我陣間同佢夾咯，即係你哋兩個都係咁上。係啊，如果係咁嘅一個，佢調。但係因為其實你有3個人，你有2個咯，3個人你有2個，咁變咗你都有人去。係咯，咁即係我哋喺台上面寫咗，咁但係就你哋第2段完咗之後，我就同埋有啲新嘅，就完咗之後咧，我就收翻晒啲 MU 冚翻晒，然後就遞俾你哋，然後跟住你哋就攞嗰個牌擺翻喺前面，因為刪 MU 嗰陣係你要擺牌嘅，如果唔係你遮住牌面先係影上嚟。知道邊個打邊個？哦 ，OK，我陣間調翻個牌就1、2、3咁樣，你就跟翻1、2、3咁樣咧。你講嘢未啊？如果唔係咁人家。Anywhere.
Hey, Irene. Do you think you need me? 睇下需唔需要？
但係因為之前講好晒係啦，所以我排咗呢件拍晒。
哦，你拍晒㗎啦？我睇你好似易啲咁一個 podium 咁樣。
唔係因為我哋個 podium 係佢哋 speech 先用，就我哋唔係。
哦，你嗰啲我記得咗。
我哋唔係，係咯，OK，好就係咁。一陣間會再翻嚟完咗個介紹之後。花嗰度，放啲花上嚟。呢個男仔嘅呢個男仔啊，而家就一個男仔。係啊，男仔。
喺面身嚟嗰度，
呢個花先呢個花先。
即係電梯啊！
Careful, it's a very expensive flower. It's made from pineapple. 哦。Just juice.
It's not too tight.
原來整頭就已經
係啊，所以我唔做呢啲嘢。
已經得出人啦。
係啊，我唔做呢啲嘢。
New hairdo.
我上機喺度，上機，跟住我要揸手機。
Lagi sasawit na morning coffee.
Reputation, renewal.
喂，嗰啲話冇翻嚟，俾翻佢。
Okay, thank you.
Also very happy because we created a wonderful building. This one is maybe also they will be will be extend to the another country. Because this is a very good idea. Help the people
Hello。
使唔使我幫你影啊？
唔使啦，我個樣唔上鏡啊。
唔係喎，好 OK，我嗰日見到你好掂啊！
邊日啊？
開發會嗰日得㗎喎。
係咩？
把聲又夠雄壯，
粗㗎。
質質地咁樣，係咯。得啊，好得啊！
好緊張啊！其實我扮輕鬆啊，專登坐側少少咁樣，好似。
係啊，你咁樣先型啊！
係咩？
先至表演到出嚟啊！
不過我嗰個 point 好多人都唔係好認同。
冇所謂㗎，每個人都有唔同嘅見解㗎嘛。喂，同埋有一樣嘅聲音係唔得嘅。係啊，我
I think you have the name.
我想放咗喺度唔好嘥咗，擺低，你認住啦。OK， 不過可能有人想啤就我有個唇膏喺度，我都有唇膏喎。就會黐過呢部咯，可以入去係咪啊？到。翻嚟好撳。因為你識啲人多過係啊，我都已經睇唔到你。
錄影啊！
錄影啊！
我哋有一啲我哋最近有啲需要你講嘅咧，香港都係做家庭做。啊。我哋第二年香港運咗加埋自己運動，所以係啦係。啊！主神你坐翻嚟。我哋攞留個位俾你。冇啊！啊！一嚟俾人哋，我哋等個位俾咗你。呢邊。Then you sit behind Henry.
Near Henry, okay.
Mr. Halilo Dalitori, the Labor Attached Philippine Overseas Labor Office, Ms. Marlena Clement, and Mr. Henry Tinario, and also a very warm welcome to Mr. Alfredo Cavari and Ms. Julieta Captain Plaza. Ms. Jonette Robler, and of course, Ms. Usa Sadiho.
Ms. Fu Wit Ang, Muhammad Editor Alam, Consulate of General Bangladesh, and Ms. Fu Wing Ang, Vice Chancellor of General of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, Yong, Hong Kong Employers of Domestic Helper Association, Mr. Simon Low from IOM International Organization of Migration, and Mr. Liu Hong and Ms. Wu Wing Chiu from Carnitas Institute of Community Education. Welcome.
Domestic helper was introduced into Hong Kong since the 70s in order to relieve the shortage of household labor force. There are presently over 340,000 foreign domestic helpers working in Hong Kong at the moment, according to the records of Hong Kong Immigration Department. There has been over 50% growth over the past 10 years, taking up about 9% of the total labor force in Hong Kong now.
Support for foreign domestic helpers from different countries who are working in Hong Kong. We're active in participating regional workshops and conferences organized by Labor Force Welfare Organization or Human Rights Organization of labor-sending countries, such as IOM, International Organization Migration, OESPAAA, Alliance of Asian Organization of Overseas Employment Service Providers, ILO, International Labor Organization, United Nations, etc. As well as joining LEGCO panel meetings with Labor Department and various councillors in Hong Kong to ensure allied parties are well aware of any domestic helpers industries updates.
Okay, so to start the event this afternoon, may I now let's invite Ma'am Teresa Liu, the chairman of Association of Hong Kong Manpower Agencies, to give our speech for us.
Someone from various sectors and media. A warm welcome to our honorable guests, the representative from the Filipino First Labor Office, Royal Thai Labor Section, Consulate General of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, Consulate General of Bangladesh Labor Council, SHARP, and also IOM, Hong Kong Employers of Domestic Helper Association. Thank you all for joining the event of Association of Hong Kong Manpower Agencies today. With reference to quite a few recent unpleasant incidents between employer and their domestic helper during work, which have evoked strong repercussion and discussion in the public. Apparently, domestic helper is not just a 9-to-5 post. It requires the person to live with the employer and the family day and night under the same roof. Relationship between the parties can easily turn nasty due to a lot of factors. As an association of Hong Kong Manpower Agents, we hope to promote the enmity between employees and domestic helpers so that both can live a harmonious life under the same roof. Therefore, in line with the operation as a representative of the industry and the community, we hereby announce to Hong Kong community and the government of foreign domestic helpers sending countries that an Harmonious Home campaign is officially launched. We hope the program could enhance the harmony and of the family environment as well as a sustainable, healthy development for foreign domestic helpers. Service through different stages with multi-perspective education and support service and various employment guidelines and sharing sections. Meanwhile, we are grateful to have the collaboration with the Society of Hong Kong Accredited Recruiters of the Philippines, SHAP, in which a signing of a memorandum of understanding will take place to confirm the two associations' consensual implementation of the above plans. We hope the government of foreign domestic helpers sending countries, association of employers, all social supporting service organizations, and the public will support this campaign to its success and to enhance the healthy development of the domestic helper service industry. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So please welcome Mr. Alfredo Harmonious, the President of the Society of Hong Kong Accredited Recruiters of the Philippines, SHAP.
Thank you. Before I proceed, I would like to introduce first the members of my delegation from Manila, Ms. Julie Cabasa, our Treasurer and Director, Ms. Virginia Agbiegbo, our Director, Ms. Mary May Victorino, our member. She is also the President of our Association of Agencies for Brunei, and Ms. Janet Roblera, a member. Labor Attaché de la Torre, Assistant Labor Attaché Herman, Mr. Taniero, Assistant Labor Attaché Taniero, guest from the Labor Attaché from Bangladesh, the administration staff from the Royal Thai Consulate, Vice Consul Ms. Uza from Royal Thai Consulate, Vice Consul Ms. Pu from Myanmar, the chairperson of the Employers Domestic Helper Association, Mrs. Yong, Mr. Simon Law from IOM, Ms. Wu from Caritas Institute of Community Education, and Mr. Leo from the Caritas Institute of Community Education. My partners and colleagues in the industry, ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here tonight for the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Association of Hong Kong Manpower Agencies and the Society of Hong Kong Accredited Recruiters of the Philippines. This is another milestone in the almost 4-decade history of the Filipino domestic worker employment in Hong Kong. Tonight, we will sign an MOU which aims to forge a closer cooperation between the two associations, not only to protect the interests of its members, but to jointly undertake programs and activities to improve and professionalize the conduct of its business, balance the relationship between the workers and the employers, and more importantly, to enhance the protection and welfare of the workers, including their families back home in the Philippines. Under the MOU, we agree to undertake the following: to review and upgrade the standards in the selection of employers and the workers, with the end view of minimizing the problems arising between them, which usually result to untimely resignations or terminations. To jointly review and enhance the current training programs and facilities for Hong Kong-bound workers in order to ensure that the workers being deployed are properly and adequately trained to meet the expectations of their employers. To formulate a code of ethics and discipline for the members in order to ensure full compliance to existing rules and regulations, both of Hong Kong and the Philippines. Avoid cutthroat competition and promote ethical recruitment practices. Both parties also agreed to support the initiatives of the Hong Kong Polo to promote ethical recruitment practices and comply with the standards that it may impose as a prerequisite for accreditation or renewal thereof. To formulate joint programs and enhance the welfare of its deployed workers, including their families and dependents in the Philippines. To set up a workers' assistance center where the workers with problems or complaints against their employers and who are not being acted upon by the deploying agency members of ACMA and SHARP can come or call for assistance. It will be equipped with a 24/7 telephone hotline and manned by a welfare officer or counselor. To formulate and launch joint plans of actions or campaigns against illegal recruiters, sub-agents, and agencies not accredited with the Hong Kong Polo. The program title chosen by ACMA for tonight's events, Harmonious Home Campaign, is very accurate and correct. All our covenants under the MOU, which we will sign tonight, will in no doubt result to a harmonious relationship between the employers and the workers. If SHARP members carefully select and properly train and orient its workers, and the ACMA members will also carefully select, orient their employers on their obligations to the workers under the contract, and monitor both the workers and the employers, there will be definitely less problems, less terminations, less resignations, less repatriations, and less cases. But it will not only a harmonious home that will be achieved. It will surely bring about harmonious relationship between the members of ACMA and SHARP. With good quality workers and carefully selected employers, we expect better business, better profits, and lesser headaches. Correct? Do you agree? So the success, however, of this MOU depends on both associations, especially its members. With the able leadership of Chairperson Teresa Liu and Vice Chair Kevin Wong, I am very confident that this MOU will not just end up in paper. I have to reveal that it was through them, their initiative, that this MOU was conceptualized. And the signing ceremony is really set for tonight. And to assure that this MOU works, both parties agree to meet at least twice a year, either here in Hong Kong or in Manila. And before I close, I would like to take advantage of the presence of our Polo, our labor attaché, because we believe that this undertaking will not be successful also without the support of the Hong Kong Polo. We hope, well, we have been proposing for this, that there should be mandatory membership in associations undertaking joint programs like this for the welfare and protection of workers. I understand that there are constitutional issues against mandatory membership. But we hope that incentives can be given to members of ACMA and SHARP for undertaking this kind of efforts. On our part, in short, we assure ACMA of our full compliance to our ordinance. We shall go forward together. Thank you and good night.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pedro. So now let's welcome Mr. Marino Delitori, the labor attaché of the Philippines consulate.
I have to apologize, I'm a little bit under the weather. Why is it that every time I speak before a group of employment agencies, I get sick? I may have to reconsider future invitations. Mr. Sita Liu, President of the Association of Hong Kong Manpower Agencies, Mr. Kevin Wong, Vice President, Mr. Palmieri, President of the Society of Hong Kong Accredited Recruiters of the Philippines, other members of the delegation, my colleagues from the Philippine Overseas Labor Office in Hong Kong, my counterparts from the other Consulates General, Muhammad Iqtidar Alam from the Consulate General of Bangladesh, Assalamu alaikum. Vice Consul Usa Sridu of the Royal Thai Consulate General, and the representative of the Myanmar Consulate General, whose acquaintance I haven't made yet, and which I hope to do later on. Other members of the Association of Hong Kong Manpower Agencies, guests, members of the media, good evening. You know, this morning we celebrated the National Flag Day of the Philippines. One of your MCs mentioned the Philippine domestic helpers have contributed a lot to the economy of Hong Kong as well as to the prosperity of Hong Kong society. But I would like to mention now that the historic role of Hong Kong in Philippine revolutionary history. Don't you know that our Philippine flag, this one here, was made in Hong Kong? That's true. In 1898, a group of very courageous ladies from the Philippines who were in exile in Hong Kong together with General Emilio Aguinaldo put together this flag. And it was somewhere in Wan Chai, near the Morrison Hill Road playground, where these three ladies made this Philippine flag. And we recognize and we are certainly grateful to the role of Hong Kong in our Philippine history. Thank you very much. On June 12, 1898, that very flag was unfurled during the declaration of Philippine independence in Kawit, Cavite. The Memorandum of Understanding which you will be signing tonight represents a first in the history of the recruitment business, probably in both Hong Kong and the Philippines, where both parties have pledged to support, among others, the Philippine Overseas Labor Office's efforts at instituting an ethical recruitment framework in both the business processes of employment agencies, but also in our accreditation and regulatory mechanisms. This seems to be an opportune and, well, serendipitous moment for ethical recruitment to be on the priority list of the industry players as we inaugurate a new administration in a little over a month's time. President-elect Rodrigo Duterte has pledged to eradicate corruption in government, and ethical recruitment represents an effective tool which can be harnessed to eradicate the evils of illegal recruitment, forced labor, trafficking in persons, and modern-day slavery. I pray and hope that industry leaders, like the persons whom you will be seeing tonight at the head table signing the Memorandum of Understanding, shall push the agenda for ethical recruitment. I admit that there must be many issues hogging your minds tonight, particularly as the 2016 POEA rules and regulations have just been issued, and it seems to raise more questions than answers. For agencies based in Hong Kong, the $50,000 question is the $50,000 escrow requirement. Since we do not have the implementing circulars yet about this fresh requirement for foreign placement agencies, we will have to wait a little while before the new secretary and presumably the new POA administrator shall have considered this issue. I have been asked quite a number of times whether I will now open the gates for new agencies applying for accreditation. And my answer is yes and no. Yes, if the agency applying for accreditation is willing to comply with ethical recruitment standards and willing to undergo an audit to prove that it does indeed comply with the standards. And the applicant agency will have to show what new value will it be adding to the industry to attract my sympathy. If the business model or service is already being provided by the agencies already accredited, what is the motivation for us to grant accreditation? What is the assurance that you will not just be providing a service already being provided? Is your business model innovative? Is your bottom line still profit? Does your corporate vision include service to the community and to your clients who are the employers and the household workers? Are you prepared to collaborate with Apollo Hong Kong in its ethical recruitment advocacy? If we see that you achieve good points in all the above criteria, I can tell you right now that I will be positively inclined to grant or recommend accreditation to your agency. In other words, I will not reopen the gates of accreditation only because there are pending applications. I will not be persuaded to grant accreditation by the argument that it represents fresh employment opportunities. For example, an additional job order for 100 dancers might represent a very good opportunity for 100 dancers and their families. But it doesn't mean that I will be awed by that. For me, unless you can show to me that the 100 dancers will not end up soliciting Johns in some dark corner in Wan Chai at the end of the dancing lessons, I will not be dissuaded into thinking that the job order is just a legitimized pathway to prostitution. Last week, due to a death in the family, I had to go home, but I was still able to string together a number of meetings after the burial. Even the burial was kind of official business because I delivered the eulogy, which still qualifies as a speaking engagement, I suppose. Anyway, I'm hoping that both your associations will support a new initiative at providing employment and entrepreneurial opportunities for our professionals here in Hong Kong. I was awed when I convened the nurses here in Hong Kong, Philippine registered nurses. Those who attended numbered about 60, and those who weren't able to attend because their rest days fell on a Saturday. We probably have about 300 Philippine nurses here working as domestic helpers. That to me is a tragedy because they're registered nurses and yet they're working as domestic helpers. One of my advocacies here in Hong Kong is to be able to provide alternative employment opportunities for them, entrepreneurial opportunities for them in the Philippines, and opportunity for them to apply for new labor markets as nurses and not as domestic helpers, because that represents a lost manpower pool for us. They are nurses, they are midwives, they are teachers, and yet they're working as domestic helpers. I hope you can help them too as employment agencies while they're looking for alternative employment opportunities in the Philippines and other labor markets. I hope you can convince employers who are willing to pay more for their services because they deserve more. They are professionals. They're nurses, they are midwives, and they are teachers. We need them. It's just that our labor market in the Philippines is not able to absorb most of them. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We have spoken with the Philippine Professional Regulation Commission, the DepEd, and the Department of Health, who have also tried to ride in the bandwagon which we have created here in Hong Kong. There are employment opportunities for them waiting under the Department of Health Nurses Deployment Program, which will employ about 36,000 nurses for 2006, and they will be deployed in the rural areas, in the barangay health centers, and the rural health units in the Philippines. Already we have a program for teachers. We have reserved positions from the Department of Education waiting for our teachers to go home and to resume their teaching careers. We have the same program hopefully for the registered midwives as well, because we're planning to give them a grant, give them an entrepreneurial assistance so that they can put up lying-in centers. I understand that lying-in centers are very popular now in urban centers as well as in rural areas in the Philippines. And it takes very little money to put up a lying center. I don't know what else you can do, but we know what we can do. We are now encouraging them to go home and either be employed locally or in other labor markets, or engage in an enterprise which require the application of their chosen profession. We will see in the next few months what will be the picture that will emerge in the after the new president has been sworn in. He has made a pronouncement that a new department will be created apart from the Department of Labor and Employment. And he has called it, pending a better name, the Department of Overseas Foreign Workers. If I have to guess, I guess the POA, the Philippine Overseas Employment Administration, the OWA, Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, probably the NRCO, the National Reintegration Center for OFWs, will now become under the new department. And we look forward to how this idea will be fleshed out by the proposed secretary of this new department. Of course, this proposal will have to undergo the rigors of scrutiny of the new Philippine Congress under the Duterte administration. So again, let me congratulate all the officers and members of the Association of Hong Kong Manpower Agencies, as well as the Society of Hong Kong Accredited Recruiters of the Philippines, for this very innovative and certainly very beneficial memorandum of understanding, as well as congratulate you for the launching of this Harmonious home campaign. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dalatory. So at this time, I think we shall start the kicking off this ceremony. So may I please have the pleasure to invite our honorable guests to come on stage. And we can start off the ceremony, please. Madam Teresa, the chairperson of the HKMA. Mr. Honorable Dalatory, the Labour Country of Polo Office. And Mr. Alfredo Kamori, President of SHA. Now please invite also Ms. Usa Sudihu, the Consul Labour, Vice Consul Labour of the Wrong Thai Labour Section.
And here we also have Ms. Fu Wei-Ang, Vice Chancellor of the Republic of Union Myanmar. Mr. Muhammad Ibitar Alam from the Consul General of Bangladesh. Mrs. Betty Yong from the Hong Kong Employers of Domestic Helpers Association to join us.
Also, Mr. Wong from the Vice Chairman of the AHKM.
It's not Christmas, is it? Oh! Anything can't do. For the cameras to click.
So everybody got their weapon. So may I announce the Harmonious Home campaign is kickstart. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Forget to take this home.
Yes, sure. You like?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please be seated.
All right, Irene. I must say, that is my first time ever witnessing a ribbon cutting ceremony. I don't know about you, that's my first time ever. Usually I see it on the TV or the movie stars and, I don't know, like LV, Vuitton kind of a campaign. So this is really eye-opening.
Yeah, who needs Robert Dianaro and Julie Roberts? we have our own, very own guests and from international guests and also the fellow agencies gathering together for one single goal to achieve. It's the Harmonious Home campaign. So,
well, we know it's not going to be easy, okay, but we all have to start somewhere. And with the support from all the honorable guests, delegates, and commitments from our fellow agency members, we are very sure this is something we can achieve. Yes? Yes? Yes. All right, without further ado, I think we're all set up here. May I invite our chairperson, Ms. Teresa Liu from AHKMA. Mr. Halilu De La Torre from our Labor Attaché, Philippines Overseas Labor Office. And of course, Mr. Alfredo Kamori, President of the Society Hong Kong Accredited Recruiters of the Philippines.
not a party to this. I'm just a witness.
Anyway, we're all ready. Sign on the dotted line now.
If everyone can initial on each page.
Just initial.
Initial here.
Yeah, initial page.
Initial on each page.
Yeah, each page. Initial. This one is not here.
I have to sign.
Yeah, yes. Sure.
This is not an IOU, is it?
Yours is.
So I have to interchange, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And that completes our signing of the MOU. Thank you so much.
Sisira na saan?
Manny Pacquiao.
The president.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we're not going to let you go. If you could please be seated, we have a press conference up shortly. Would you mind taking the seat? Thank you very much. If there's any media questions you have for our three guests over here.
This is the dangerous part.
Hi, my name is Fira and I'm from the South China Morning Post. I one question. I'd like to ask you for a bit more details about the campaign. For example, are you organizing workshops? If so, what sort of workshops? Are you organizing trainings? If so, what sort of trainings? Are you organizing exhibitions? And just a bit more details about the campaign. And also, the other question is, how do you ensure that the agencies or employers or domestic workers that they will take part in the campaign? Why would they want to be part of the campaign? Thank you.
I've got nothing for me.
Yeah, I tried to answer your question that, of course, the program is a series of programs, not only one program or two programs. And the program is the no deadline, which is okay. Of course, we will think about that if the maid or the domestic helper, they want to work in Hong Kong at the very beginning. So they will find a manpower company in Philippines, and then they will start the training. So we will think about how to implement the training at the very beginning together with the Hong Kong culture and the China cultures. And also we also want to implement some kind of live training. Live training, that means, okay, how not only the skill on the domestic helper, but also how they face the pressure, how to solve the problems. This is some kind of live training we want to implement. And also for the Hong Kong side, we also want to implement some kind of assistance for the domestic helper, just like a handbook. And also the handbook is all together with the employer handbook also, because it's not only the domestic helper needs to educate, also the Hong Kong employer needs to educate. Because, okay, all we know that some of the new young couples of Hong Kong or some couples migrate from mainland China, right? Okay, they also have to try to live in Hong Kong with Hong Kong cultures, right? So at the very beginning, they have to also live with a domestic helper, with a new foreigner. So we have to share our experience to them. Okay, this is also the part of our programs. And also, of course, okay, as our associations, we will advocate our members to join, and also we also to set up a series of workshops, okay, in Hong Kong as well as in the Philippines, together, working together with SHARP. And we also want to have a good start and a new start. And then at the end of the day, also the ultimate goal is want to set up or to create a harmonious home in Hong Kong. Okay, so can I ask a question?
I'd like to add that I'm particularly excited and impressed by the idea of setting up a workers' assistance center, a 24/7 workers' assistance center, because this in effect complements our own efforts at addressing the many problems that our foreign domestic helpers face here in Hong Kong. Because sometimes it's just a matter of providing the correct information to them, so that the relationship between the employer and the domestic helper is a smooth and effective one. I'm not sure if this is going to be a 24/7 thing.
Yes, it will be a 24/7 assistance center. But our plan is a holistic approach from the source up to here until the worker is already with the employer. From the source, we will involve their families at the time of application. We will require the member of their family to be present during the time that they're applying for this job, so that their families would understand also their responsibilities and obligation as family members. Because there are problems here brought about by extreme pressures from the families down in the Philippines, asking for more money, where that results to like borrowing money from the financing companies, and later on, this poor girl cannot pay. They bug the telephone of the, they call many times the telephone of the employers, which eventually will result to the termination of the girl. So we will start from that end. We will carefully select our applicants. Number two, we will train them very well. Our idea is come out with a training program and a training center designed for Hong Kong. For example, we are talking about like the ingredients in cooking must come from Hong Kong, because we believe that the closest to the heart of the employer is the stomach. If the maid can cook a very good food, right, then the employer will love the worker. Definitely, there will be a very harmonious relationship between the worker and the employer. Number three, we will have a handbook. A handbook on both sides, the employer and the worker. The handbook about the Hong Kong employer, to tell the worker or to educate the worker about the characteristics of Hong Kong employers. Also, on the other side, we have to tell about the characteristics of a Filipino maid. A Filipino maid always like to eat with rice, correct? And always like to take a bath. So we have to educate our employer about these things. So this is our goal. We want to improve the training because we believe if we prepare our workers well, we train them well, we orient them well, we are sure that there will be a very harmonious relationship between the worker and the employer. And another thing, on the side of our counterpart agency here, our covenant is that they will also, the members of ACMA will select carefully the employers. Those employers who have bad records, who have been terminating maids, should not be given another maid, correct? And also, we have to orient them on their contractual obligations. What are their obligations under the contract? And the next thing is the monitoring aspect. It's not just to send a girl here, give to the employer. You know, under Philippine law, the Philippine agency has that tremendous responsibility over the workers. That anything that may happen to the worker, the agency in the Philippines is held responsible. So that the answer is proper and effective monitoring. We believe that no employer would just like to terminate the maid. And on the other hand, no maid just would like to come here and to resign. So if there is this mechanism of monitoring, that any problem at the start is being addressed and resolved, then we believe that there will be less terminations or less resignations. And of course, we have this action center that we are planning to put up jointly. We believe that this is important because there are times that workers have nowhere, cannot, there's nobody else to attend to them. So if there is this workers assistance center, immediately they have somebody to call, and their problems can be easily resolved. So this is the whole program that we want to achieve under this MOU, under this partnership. And as I've said, eventually the relationship between the ACMA members and the SHAC members will also be harmonious, more profits, less problems.
Can I just ask one more question about the assistance center? So let's say if the domestic workers, they get into trouble, they call the center. If they want a place to stay for 1 or 2 days, to stay at the center, or the center will only be taking phone calls, or the purpose of the center.
Actually, each agency is now required to have its own boarding house. The purpose is for the workers to have a place whenever they need. Upon arrival or whenever they are terminated or they resign, the center is not intended to become like a transient house. No, it will be a tremendous cost and problem for the association. The objective of the assistance center is for the worker to have a place where to call and to address the problem. And if there are cases, I don't know with ACMA members, but there are some agencies who do not attend to the problem or complaints of the workers. So if ever there is one worker who complains that his or her agency does not attend to their complaint, then she can call this action center. And the role of the action center is to call that particular member. You have to attend to this problem. I will send this worker to you. See, so this is a setup wherein workers will have an immediate refuge where to address her problem. We don't want this to be like a transient house. If you open this out as a transient house, you can just imagine how many will come. This is not the idea. The idea is this is an action center whenever and wherever there are those workers who are not being attended to by the deploying agency, which is a member of ACMA or CR, then this center will act.
The need for shelter is already addressed by the Polo, for example, has a shelter for terminated workers. Each agency is also required to have its own boarding house or shelter. And on top of that, there are non-government organizations, labor unions, even church-based organizations who maintain their own shelters, not just for Filipino domestic helpers, but for all nationalities as well.
And our aspect, the boarding house, provided to all our members if their domestic helpers have been terminated, they can come to our boarding house. So we are fully support them.
They feed them, do you?
Yes, free. Yes. Cost free pay.
Well, I heard about the training sessions for both the domestic workers and the employers, but there are training sessions and education campaign aimed at the domestic workers, and I keep on hearing them complain that there seems to be a lack on the side of the employer. So could you elaborate more? Yeah. So could you elaborate more about the education campaign for the employers? Is there going to be a seminar, or will this just consist of kits, information materials?
Yeah.
How's that going to be?
Yeah, we will have the seminar, and also when we have to give the briefing to the employer before they employ the maid. Before they sign the contract, we have to give them the briefing, and we'll inform them how the culture of the Indonesian. Just like the Indonesian, they cannot eat pork, so we have to mention very clearly to them the girls cannot eat pork, so you cannot force them to eat, or you have to provide the other foods for them. So just like for the breakfast, they like to eat, they cannot give only for our Hong Kong people, for our Chinese, even for our lunch, we will not eat rice. But for the Indonesian or for the Filipino, rice is very important for them. So you must provide the rice for their lunch and dinner. You cannot just give them the bread or some noodles. So that is all our members, they know how to inform the employer before they sign the contracts. Is it right?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe later, do some other candidates.
Thank you very much, members of leaders. I think that concludes our session for today for the press con. Thank you very much. And now we can proceed. Any questions? Anything? Anybody? No? All right. Okay, so we're going to have a quick photo session before we proceed to the dinner across the room. Very much. Thank you.
Sorry. Okay, and all the rest of the guests. Members and follow staff.
Follow staff first.
嗱 member 跟住做另，我哋一走咗你就出嚟啦。
Okay, 1, 2, 3, cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, and the rest of the members. 出嚟影相。啱啱就合照。
影張我同你睇啊！你同你老婆。
我試咗好耐。
其實嗰個處嗰個守則都係我哋
知道係啊。
因為好多年所以我做咗我24%。
係啊，我知啊，同埋我因為有時冇嚟到係而家
我正如你話齋，我
係啊，一定
要知道咁我亦都俾機會佢講下佢個苦處。
係啊，事實係嘅，好似我都同意啦，有好多啲嘅嘢。
不過我諗話俾你聽，我幾成唔係因為我而家用咗，因為我語我食豬肉嘅時候食豬肉，咁就係呢個問題啫。但係我哋都要搞啲豬肉嘅，食豬肉你唔可以因為唔啱豬肉嘅，我呢食嘅個人係啊係啊，但係而家好多嘢好似我哋食嘅新住就係難咗啦。係啊，所以咪要教佢啦，反而咁樣咯。冇嘅，冇得教嘅，你唔話嘅話佢就走好啲。而家就而家係供應求嘅問題咯，而家係求過於我覺得唔係呢個問題，我覺得係而家嗰邊嘅 training 唔夠，同埋新嚟嗰啲仲 OK 嘅，你做得耐佢哋先咁講啊。我見到始終我覺得個 behaviour 同埋個態度都係比較好啲。係啊，係睇過嚟係 yes。Oh yeah.
Like to take a picture? No, not picture, just all time interview. Yeah. You said there's going to be a training session. Could you tell me more about that?
The training session we have this two guys is one characters. So we have to have the program. They have set up the program to teach those how to communicate with the employer, the Hong Kong culture, the Chinese culture, and also the second part training, just like how to take care of the children, how to take care of the elderly, and how to take care of the baby. And the third part is cooking. They have the cooking class, teach them the cooking, how to cook the Chinese food. Actually, our company already have this program, but now I will put it in our association and let all our members.
How many members?
Now it's around 40 something, 40.
没有
Employers will this be mandatory for them? Will they be attending seminars?
嗱，好似嗱，今日我有人講，我同副處長，我嗰日嗰個副局長阿蕭生。 我同佢唔同佢 agent 講嘅。
And also our Mrs. Yong, they also have. And but before they
我攞咗你啦，跟住兩張嘛，係啊，但係要揾你，下揾，因為有啲嘢大家要 comment 下，係有啲即係想多聽多啲嘅意見，有僱主問喎，即係你講，咁係要 treat them as 係啊，而家有50幾個，咁啱啱其實停咗9個月，咁停嘅原因係因為之前啲 training 咧就政府講唔係我講嚇，政府講咧就話 training 唔夠，咁我咧因為佢想收多啲錢，咁我就拒絕，唔係因為佢話仲咁，但係咧就政府就話因為 training 唔夠，咁我就變一認出咗錢，因為 training 講明啦，講實咁我其實2個星期個 training 唔係佢嗰邊個機票貴唔貴？嗱，我哋初時做嘅時候係7000幾蚊，而家叫做4000幾，我估計因為點解僱主對呢樣嘢好大concern？因為佢第3個月就炒，因為佢又俾人換。係啊係啊。但係我如果同入去呢個廣地嗰個機票咧，你就唔知啦。係啦，因為我覺得咧有個限就咧，唔係佢如果早幾耐，係有1年。咁我覺得比較合理，唔好話3個月。係啊。唔係乜我嗰啲嘢唔做。
After my child
So they do that.
Yes, actually we do.
Or just briefing, just on the.
Yes, of course, and also we have the handbook for the choice. How much they sell? Ask them to sign. Actually, we already
So this is so for all the reporting members.
我哋喺本地嘅你俾 10% 我哋，即係仲要係上咗公司攞錢。係啊係啊。但係我係外地嗰啲請外傭嗰啲中心，佢冇可能喺你而家香港嘅就唔算嘅喎。你喺外地註冊嗰班又好，點解喺外邊入嚟嗰啲，佢係要好多嘅培訓費，好多嘅使費，唔係話佢一嚟就識得同你做嘢。咁同埋仲有就係你又要準備啲宿舍俾佢。我知係外國領事館係要嗰啲 agency 咧係定要㗎嘛。我話好啦，你要佢上咗工1個月俾錢。如果我調翻轉講，我根本就唔理佢如何上工咧。係啦。唔通佢喺嗰邊去捉佢嚟？
其實所以將啲費用轉介咗你僱主身上。我哋成日出聲。
你而家同你講咧，我話你唔可以，我話你記住喎，我哋冇佢哋咧揾唔到工人，我哋靠佢喎。冇錯。咁如果你整死晒啲紅嘅時候，我可以揾公司嚟介紹工人俾我啊。咁即係我亦都撐你哋㗎，可以講。係啊，我好明白，我明白。
可以有好多即係合作空間或者溝通。
我會喺今次6月17號之前，我會有一封信上去。我就問咗蔡太，你哋有啲乜嘢 idea 你想我哋僱主會，即係當然要合理嘅嘢啦。我哋可以用我哋嘅名義上嘅嘢。即係
個報紙。
Okay. You are Filipino yourself?
Yeah, I am.
我諗你
training session. Oh, actually, this is the law of Hong Kong. You know, before they sign a contract, the Labour Department encourage all the agencies. They must tell, what I mean is to produce or maybe introduce the labour law in Hong Kong to the employers to show that what the and also the Labour Department
唔使咯。
擺咗上 Facebook。
咁快。
I think we have a very
successful and some NGOs would like to. Even when they arrive in Hong Kong at the airport, they already give them these leaflets to tell them if you have trouble, these are the numbers that you can call for help. I think you know it. I think this is not only.
你唔好錄我啦！係啊，都講完我已經好辛苦，好辛苦 put up 過。
你兩個好靚啊！
所有嗰啲嘢真係多謝你喎！
多謝我啊，唔多謝佢。
多謝你喎！我都已經講到一大輪㗎啦。
The legislation.
From what I understand, the training sessions are going to be mandatory. I mean, from what they said earlier, it's going to be a more stepped up or a ramped up training sessions for the employers. but how willing are the employers to actually go to the
I
seminars?
can't guarantee for this, because employees in Hong Kong, the most problem is that they're very busy. If they're not busy, actually, we're not employing domestic helpers. So I think the responsibility of the government is more than the agency for this part.
Yes,
exactly.
That we want to be like that. The government should be like that.
Because the government makes us
Actually, the Labour
confused.
Department has done a lot to help the employers to know the law of Hong Kong. I think the Labour Department is quite, and immigration have done a lot. And our association too. I can show you. We have just opened one seminar.
You can email me some of the materials. I gave you my card.
Yeah, what material you need?
I don't know what material.
Because there are some people in video. I cannot just pass to you without their permission. Understand?
What about the kits? The kits, the information kits that you give out to the employers. Do you have that?
Oh, you want that? You want that? Yeah, actually, most of the agency will have.
Yes.
Yeah, we can provide to you.
I ran out of cards. I'll just give you my email.
Sure.
You mean the do's and don'ts?
Yes, if you have the campaign kits.
We have a lot.
Yeah. So just some samples. So that
It's
we
very
have
big. I think if you have the dress, I can just mail to you.
Yeah, I gave you.
Yes, I send to you. Okay.
All right, I will. Okay, thank you.
You mean the leaflets that the government has printed out, right?
Yes, for the employers.
Yes, employers. Oh, I just mail one to you. Okay.
Okay.
You just send us email and then what you want.
All right.
In fact, you just go to
website
of the internet.
You see
all these actually government has posted up on website. I think I have a new one.
我哋嗰啲喺嗰邊啊？
我攞過嚟㗎啦，攞過嚟㗎啦。老人家。點啊？你覺得我哋啲圍台靚啲啊？係就坐啦，有兩個位。馬太山係正。
哇！仲唔快坐埋去？呢度有着數啊！坐呢圍，呢有着數啊！呢圍。呢圍有着數啊？有着數，有着數。你講嘅。你又有着數。全部靚女坐晒呢圍啊！你仲唔坐埋去真係？
咪咯，冇啲醒目嘅。你知唔知嚟㗎？唔係嚟咯。你知唔知好難嘅？哇！你坐咗先係。
Okay. Very main Very main
Hello。你有冇揸車啊？
我揸咗起身你走。我同出去打
竟然擺上 Facebook 啊 ！Facebook 啊！
我哋又搞埋唔使啦。佢已經用呢個名都用私人嘢啲話，相信搞晒。
揸車啊？
有啊，但我都有啊。
So you know more about the agency, what we have done in Hong Kong. So you should know, and then you can follow me one day what we are doing. Yeah, you know what happened. Yeah, you know what happened. Yeah. Thank you so much. Sang英雄啊，係啊。喂，望住做望咩啊？望住做望咩啊？望呢度喎，做望乜嘢？
咩經理？
望完咗今晚就再繼續望咩？
大班人做啊！
好嘢搞啊嘛！係咯，好嘢搞啊嘛！
睇好似以前嗰啲大晒嗰啲。
好啦，大家身體健康啊！生意興隆啊！ Good luck and good business.
Good business.
Ethical recruitment. May this be the new mantra in employment agencies.
Thank all the agencies. Actually, without your help.
To Kevin Wong, who will pay the bill tonight.
No, they pay. They pay by themselves. All they pay.
They will not vote.
Anybody birthday today?
我識佢都未識你講，咁嘅 video。
唔好理我啦。
點啊 camera man？係
啊，都冇做 camera man 啦。
你好啊。
好。
要最靚㗎，點靚唔好擺上嚟啊！
呢啲要同你阿媽講喎，問下你阿媽喎。
好衰嘅，你話今日化咗妝覺得好
你俾塊鏡佢咯，你咁樣樣先會有靚嘅年紀啊，係咪先？
Thank you.
Thank you.
佢男人做乜唔男而家
That's my boss.
Today, oh, maybe for another 2 days. But not this kind, you know.
Biggest attraction of Hong Kong, the food, the food.
No, Southeast.
Are you living there too? I think we just closed on us.
Kevin, nag-email daw siya sa inyo.
Kay Philly.
Kay Philly.
Kinorder niya sa akin kasi. Napasya. 50 years old.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you.
I go with them.
Okay.
I go with them.
Very much.
Thank you. Hãy同啲靚女影下相先。
有冇同你呃咧？唉，辛苦晒你啊！主席太太咧？
主席太太喺度，坐喺度，嗰度。
你兩個人影下相啊！快啲啦！
你知咩去到邊啊個情況？唔搞離婚嘅喎，唔識嘅喎，你唔分領事館啦。
有事就你個工人。
係啊，你個工人啊，我跟你做你好啊，
佢3年又要，呢啲又每日日開翻，咁咪幾衰嘅。
點解你先嘛？
冇，唔該，你啊交換下，哎呀唔係呢個，sorry。
其實阿容太，我哋要多啲溝通。
係啊，真係。
其實我哋要我哋係好合作，坐埋一條船嘅。其實我哋係咯。
我話你聽佢政府
係啊，好差。
講真，你應該係交佢哋自己，佢哋應該支持。
車埋你啊！咁埋我，唔使啊！佢啲靚女同車嘅喎。係咩？係啊，唔考慮啦。有冇泊車啊？有幾多泊車啊？
你泊車啊？
係啊，你問攞啊？係你問佢攞到幾多得幾多係咯？
你泊咗喺呢度？
喺呢度。
你張飛條錢啊？
唔係誒，八達通嚟㗎。佢又係佢唔使㗎，你CW1200啊。佢會俾張飛我嘅應該。CW。係1200。1200啊。多謝。拜。係啊，得啦，冇得找喎。500得啦，500得。我津貼，好啦，津貼你80啦。啊，錄影啦，同你哋。唔好亂咁講嘢啊！唔好講錯嘢啊！Say hello 啊！
做下事啊，叫你。阿媽，我得咗。佢話講完啦，佢話。放喺床邊。
啊，thank you。
係啊，
我覺得好即係
接近啲，容易啲咯，
即係同我哋仲有英文嗰方面又
因為你係啊，但係如果當佢真係唔嚟，你哋都冇得選擇，都要去繼續㗎啦。係啦，即係都唔知㗎，你點知啫？點話得埋啊？我覺得。
唔該晒。
多謝晒，多謝晒。大家得閒多多。
係，再聯絡啊！好啊，好啊。